What's going on, Ravens fans? First off, Happy New Year to each and every single one of you. Second off, so happy that you guys decided to join us today. We're starting off 2026 on a little bit of a negative note because we got to talk about it. I hate talking about it. Believe me, I absolutely think it's the dumbest thing ever, but Lamar Jackson trade rumors have got to be discussed because I'm hearing some crazy things, right? Dan Graziano of ESPN weighed in on the Baltimore Ravens, John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson. You got to hear what he has to say. I have my analysis. It's going to be a good one. Thanks so much for joining us. All that and more coming up right here on the Baltimore Ravens Run. Before we get into the content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here or if you have not done it yet. Steelers Talk, our Steelers Chat Sports channel. We kind of hate them. They're up 20 subs on us on our Week 18 sub battle. We got about 4 days left until this thing is over. Maybe not even that much. Maybe 2 days left. I don't even know. At this time of the year, you don't really even know what day it is. But I do know we're down. I do know I need your help, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. So in case you missed it, Mike Preston decided to drop a bombshell of an article about a week ago on Christmas Eve. I was taking a nap, just ate a big lunch, was getting ready for the holiday festivities, woke up, looked at my phone, I was like, what the hell? Here's some quick quotes from everything he had to say on Lamar Jackson. He says he doesn't need to be up late at night playing video games. There are team rules and there are Lamar Jackson rules. John Harbaugh has become tired of Jackson. The Ravens should look at possible trades. Jackson would love to play in Miami or possibly Las Vegas. Now, personally, I think this is an absolute joke. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think a lot of what he said, I don't want to say it isn't true, but I do think a lot of it is a little bit fabricated, maybe a little bit blown out of proportion, a little bit embellished. And his job is to get people to click on his articles and read his articles. Just call a spade a spade. And in my personal opinion, he makes it seem like it's going to be either between Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh. And if the Baltimore Ravens choose John Harbaugh over Lamar Jackson, I am done watching this team. I'm done talking about this team. That would be the end of my life, okay? That's how serious I take this. That's how frustrated I would be. Well, Dan Graziano got asked about it, and he discussed it on Get Up. The question was, is it a certainty that both, as in John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, are back with the Ravens next season? Graziano said no, because it's time to address Lamar's contract again for the Ravens. They have to figure something out, whether that's an extension or if they decide they want to take it out for a spin and see what they could maybe get on the trade market. Now, the reason you do that would only be if you've got to a point where you're considering all your options. Look, it's year 8, and they've won 3 playoff games. They've built elite teams around Lamar Jackson, questionable, that still weren't able to get it done. If you are in the business of winning championships and you believe that you're not going to get it done with this player, then I think you have to consider all options. It's a conversation that I don't think is insane to talk about having. First off, takeaway number 1. Dan Graziano, a guy who is locked in on the NFL and has as many inside sources as anybody out there, said no to it not being a certainty for Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh both being back in Baltimore. Now, one of those would be our dream. One of those would be our nightmare. I'll let you decide which one is which. Takeaway number 2. This is why I was saying all summer long to extend it. And I bet a lot of people are saying that, right? They're sitting here in January, late December, and they're like, this is why I always was talking about extending Lamar Jackson. I have photographic proof of this. We talked about it a ton over the summer. May 12th, 2025. Any hope you have for the futures in Lamar Jackson, you go as he goes. Keep him here no matter what. That entire episode was about him signing a contract extension and staying in Baltimore. This could have been solved so long ago, and we would not have to be going through any of this. But they sat on their hands. They didn't get it done. And now you're staring 2026 in the barrel. You're in the year finally. You look at this year, you look at next year, and you see the cap hits of $74.5 million. That's why you needed to get it done last year. It's not like this was a surprise to anybody. It's not like the cap hits just jumped up out of nowhere. I saw it coming. How did Eric DeCosta not? Like, something's got to be done. this offseason. Something will be done this offseason. They're not just going to roll into this year with a $74 million cap hit. That means they're either going to trade him, which I pray not, or they're going to figure out an extension. It has to be. I promise you. We're not going to get to August. Hell, we're not going to get to March, which is when the new league year begins, without something happening, whether good or bad. In my opinion, like we talked about a lot, they have the blueprint for what an extension looks like, what it could be. Same deal Josh Allen got in March of last year. 6 years, $330 million, $55 million average, $250 million guaranteed. It's easy. It's right there for you. Just copy that. And hell, if Lamar Jackson wants to, bump up the total a little bit. Bump up the average. Bump up the guaranteed. I don't care. Just keep him in Baltimore. At this point, it feels like there's dissension within the franchise between John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. I don't know if you can or how you can bring both of them back in good faith. Like at this point, I'm just praying that John Harbaugh's not back next year. And I'm not saying that out of hatred of John Harbaugh. You can ask producer Gage. He's sitting behind the computer right now. We are scripting this show. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? I don't like John Harbaugh as a head coach anymore, but he's a guy I'd like to get a beer with. And that's 100% true. Seems like a cool guy. Seems like a guy I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with. Sure, he's nice. Sure, he's a great dude. But I think his run as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens should be over, especially if you're having to decide between him and your star quarterback. Like, the experiment between the two of them, it's not working. It's not. And even if you make it in the playoffs, hell, even if you win one game, that's still 4 playoff wins in 8 years. Feels like you're going to have to keep one of the two. Which one are you keeping? Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh? You let me know down below in the comment section. Give me an LJ or a JH right now. I got something that you will love. It's our awesome friends over at PrizePicks. They're the sponsor of today's show. This episode is brought to you by them. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on PrizePicks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops, and PrizePicks lets you take control. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. With the new social feeds feature, you could share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow PrizePicks partners like us and tail or fade our picks with just one click. Here is my PrizePicks lineup for Sunday night's game of the Ravens and Steelers. I took the more on Derrick Henry rushing yards. I feel like that one's a really good one. More on Aaron Rodgers passing yards, unfortunately. And I took the more on Zay Flowers, half a rushing or receiving touchdown. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. So, if he is traded, where's he going? Now, again, that would be the death of me. We'd be live on the channel, but you'd probably see a grown man cry. Well, let's talk about destination. Number 1, Miami Dolphins. This is the one that Mike Preston said. This was the one that kind of feels like it makes the most sense for multiple reasons. Number 1, you're not bringing in Tua Tagovailoa back next year. They've already talked about that. It's already a guarantee. Number 2, they've got an offensive-minded head coach in Mike McDaniel, who I know would love to be able to have a toy like Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Lamar Jackson's a Florida guy, born and raised. So it makes sense that he wants to get back down to the warm weather. We all know how much he hates the cold. He will say so himself. It's not like that's just us drawing conclusions. They do have negative $30 million of cap space, though. Of course, that'll all get figured out when Tua Tagovailoa is not on the team anymore. The Atlanta Falcons, I think, is a name that makes some sense, a team. If you remember, before Lamar Jackson's most recent contract extension, the Atlanta Falcons were one of the teams and was the team that was most interested in at the time. Now, they didn't end up making that move. Probably very much regretted it. And this is where they are as of right now. Then old Kirk Cousins. They drafted Michael Penix Jr., who has not been doing very well. And they're looking for what's next. They got negative $11.47 million in cap space now again. Kind of similar to the Tua situation. That will all figure itself out as Kirk Cousins' contract and his tenure with the Falcons gets figured out. But that is a team to watch for, as is the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, this was one that Mike Preston mentioned. I think it's one that's legitimate. Who knows if they're going to have a new head coach or not next year? We still don't know that at the current recording of this video. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't. That means clean slate. That means new everything. They get the money to have new everything. $76.17 million in cap space. They got the first overall pick next year. So that's something that would be very, very enticing to trade for, even though I still wouldn't necessarily do it. Regardless, they're a team to watch for, team to keep your eye on. Number 4, Minnesota Vikings. Very sneaky team to watch out for. They got to figure out their contract situation. Quarterback, excuse me. J.J. McCarthy, in my opinion, is not it. And Lamar Jackson with Kevin O'Connell could be something that's very, very scary. Cold weather up there, but they play in a dome. Again, not a ton of cap space, negative 50. But, again, this is all stuff that gets figured out, and there's so many ways to manipulate the cap. Give yourself a little bit extra room. That's going to do it for today's show. Before we get out of here, make sure to let me know down below in the comments section, what is the percent chance the Ravens trade Lamar Jackson? Scale for me 1 to 100. I tend to believe it's something around like 10%, but you might think differently. Let me know in the comments. And make sure you follow me on socials, subscribe to the channel, all that and more. Daily videos right here on the Ravens.